guys, welcome back. It's Jen with Happy Humble Home. So I'm going to show y'all today how I'm going to store our son's schoolwork from this past school semester. So go grab you a cup of coffee or something and let's get going. Okay, so first off, I just went to Walmart and grabbed these hanging these boxes that, I don't know what they're called, that allow you to do the hanging type folders. And then I just grabbed a box of these cheap hanging folders. It already comes with the tabs, and these particular ones you can place wherever you want along the tabs. Now, typically I would use my label maker instead of handwriting the labels on here, but just so happens when I was at Walmart today, I picked up the wrong kind of tape for my label maker, and I don't feel like going back, and this is something I want to get done today. So I will probably fix that at a future time, but right now, this is what I'm working with, and this is how we're going to do it. Now, I don't have a folder for every single subject that they did this year because stuff like a Bible, I didn't use an actual Bible. Well, I used a Bible curriculum of sorts. I used the all-in-one, or Easy Peasy Homeschooling. There we go. The Easy Peasy Bible curriculum, so there wasn't no physical book or anything. It was more just an outline of reading each day and some questions to discuss, discussion questions and that sort of thing. And then also their Bible drill cards I will keep in here, but I'm not going to use a whole other I'm not going to use a whole other hanging folder just for their Bible drill cards. So basically, I'm just taking any kind of schoolwork that they have and I'm putting it in there. Yes, you can use the manila folders and everything like that, but I'm not going to do all that because a lot of their subjects, I ended up using these reusable plastic ones, and I won't be using these again this year because it's kind of irritating to have to add or take out pages ever so often. And the only reason I did it this year was because between my two sons, I had like 11 of these left over from previous years that were in good condition still, so I wanted to make use of those instead of just throwing them out. And some of them I would be able to reuse, like sending them with the new school year, but some teachers had wrote in Sharpie or they had labels on it that I couldn't use for Nathan if Nicholas had used it the previous year. So I really just didn't want to waste those. So, but these work out really good because they just fit right in the folder like that. They do stick up a little bit, but not enough to make it where the lid won't close and not enough to block the label that is behind it. So that's basically it. I will put an actual label once I get the correct label tape on the front here. And one thing that I'm also going to go back and do on these is I'm going to put what grade this is, just so that way for future reference, if I have another math for this coming school year, I can know exactly that this was the 5th grade math, and then I can know this was 6th grade math and continue on like that. At this point, I'm just going to have one box for each child. As they get older, or as I see how much one box fills up, then I may, if this gets through several years, however many years I can fit in here, then I may take out the first year because I probably won't need it by that time. But I will kind of consolidate as I go through it and see how many years I can get in one box. Okay, so here is the finished product. Now, this is for my 3rd grade son. Since he actually did write in his math book, I decided to keep both the math books. You could just pull out the assessments that's in these if you didn't want to keep the entire book, but I'm just going to opt for right now to keep the entire book. And it works out really well. Like I said, these folders, they just pop right in. There's no use for the manila folders. You could add manila folders in here if you wanted to, but I'm not too concerned with that. I think you're technically supposed to, but I'm not going to. And then there's just his Bible drill stuff. And also what I'm going to do, since I have room, at least for this year, since I have room, I will probably just store any extra workbooks that they use, because my son did not mark in this book at all. So I will probably use that for my younger son when he gets to 3rd grade, so that way I can try to use the curriculum that I've used before, as long as I like it and as long as it works good for that child. I will continue to keep those. And that's pretty much how I'm going to consolidate their schoolwork each year, and we will just put these up in the attic, in a closet, something like that, so they're out of the way, but there if I need them for some reason. Also, as far as storing teachers' books, when I was at Walmart, I should have thought about it and grabbed another one of these boxes. So that way I can keep any kind of teacher's editions stored together. So all my teachers' guides will be there for every single grade that I have currently. Currently I only have 5th and 3rd grade stuff, well, and some kindergarten stuff that I will keep and that I will need for upcoming years. Because if you watch my video on homeschooling on a budget, I talk about how to reuse the curriculum as long as you're happy with it and it works for your child, how to reuse that for future children, so that way it kind of helps keep the financial burden aspect that sometimes can come with homeschooling at a minimum. So that way I'm going to store all of it, and it's not taking over our office the entire school year, and I won't have books sitting up there for a couple of years that I'm not even going to need or touch. So there's no point in having them take up space in our office schoolroom area. So also, if you have any tips or tricks on how to store your kids' schoolwork, teachers' books, anything like that, I would love to hear your organization tips on it, or if you even found it necessary to keep your kids' schoolwork. Anything really. I'm open to any kind of ideas and love to hear everybody's input. So as always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.